If you plan on doing a lot of boondocking, we're going to talk today about a list of things you should either have or do to be able to extend your boondocking stay in the wild. Welcome back to Two Camping Gurus. If you like camping in the great outdoors and traveling, you are in the right place. Alright, if you're going boondocking, there are some things that's going to make that experience much better for you, or even possible for it to make it last longer. But you got to have these things with you or do them ahead of time to make this happen. And number one, and these are in no particular order, but number one, you need some sort of power source. So you either need a solar system on your RV unit, whether it's a portable one. It all depends on the power usage that you require. Some people need a massive system. Some people can get by with just a few panels that you can set out portable and get enough power to run some lights and a few other things. If you don't have that, then you really need a generator to provide yourself with some power to do the same thing. So if you want to do boondocking, really you got to have some sort of power source. Alright, another thing I think is a must-have is some sort of composting toilet. Now these things come in many forms. You can have a bucket with a plastic bag with a toilet seat on it, all the way up to some very high-end composting toilets that you can purchase. I'm not recommending in this particular video what you do, but if you plan on boondocking, a black water tank is not the way to go because you're going to be limited to the capacity of that tank. By having a composting toilet, you're producing much less waste that has to be dealt with in a sooner fashion. So the composting toilet is going to compost a lot of that for you or break it down in a way it's not going to smell, and you can deal with that much later. So it's going to last a lot longer than any capacity black water tank that you can have on board. So put some thought into that. I plan on doing a composting toilet video in the future, but for now, it doesn't matter as long as you have something that you are not mixing the liquids with the solids and creating sewerage in a black water tank. Okay, another item you need with you, I think is very important, is paper towels. You use these for everything. It's going to help with, laundry, so you don't build up as much laundry, for like wiping things and all this type of stuff. Anyways, they come in handy. You could use them if you're making toast instead of getting a plate out that needs to be washed. I suppose you could use paper plates too, and that's another tip. But paper towels are just so versatile for so many different things, and it's going to make your cleanup much easier and use less water. So again, that's going to help you extend your boondocking stay. Now, while we're talking about cleanup, one thing I recommend is vinegar mixed with water for doing your dishes. Now there's plenty of videos out there that talk about how to do that, and you can just mix it together. You can check out those videos in the future. I'll probably do a video about it, but this will cut down on your water consumption for doing your cleaning around your RV. So that's one thing that's very important too. The one thing you got to have is water storage to extend the life of your boondocking experience. Now with that said, you need water on board. I don't know about you, but I like to take a shower. Of course, you may not be able to take one every day, but you can at least wash your hand and get cleaned up. So before you head out, there's some things you need to do that's going to help extend your boondocking stay. And one of those is make sure your freshwater tank is full. So you can head out and you can use that efficiently and know that you have X amount of water on board to do what you need to do. This is often overlooked. You think you got enough. Next thing you know, you get out there and your 2-week stay turns into 4 or 5 days because you're out of water. With that said, you do need gray water storage. So make sure your gray water tank is completely empty before you head out on your boondocking trip. So when you do use your fresh water that needs to go somewhere, you have storage for that too. You don't want to be dumping this onto the ground. I know there's some areas that they say it's okay, but personally I prefer to store it and then bring it to an approved location to drain that water off safely. Another thing you want to do before you head out is make sure your propane tank is full. So you want to have power, like we said with the solar panels or the generator. You also need propane. Now maybe you don't, depending on your unit, but most 99.9% of the people out there that go camping have something in their unit that uses propane. So make sure your tanks are full so you're good to go as long as you can with the supplies that you have. You don't want a half-empty tank and have to stop halfway through. Once again, these are all things that get overlooked, and it ends up making your boondocking stay not as long as you would like it to be. And of course, one thing you want to do while you're out there is conserve water as much as possible. We already talked about the vinegar for cleaning dishes and paper towels to cut down on dish usage. But another thing you can do is use body wash towels. And this here is a way that if you have a day that you're just kind of sitting around, you're not really getting dirty or sweaty or stuff like that, you can use these body wash towels to freshen up, clean up quite a bit, and not have to actually get in the shower and use a few gallons of water to wash that way. So this is a great alternative to using a lot more water. And along with that, you can also use the dry shampoo in your hair. So if you have oil in your hair or something like that, this is going to refreshen your hair a little bit, and again, cut down on the water usage. Because optimal situation, you want to be able to shower every day. When you're boondocking, that's not going to happen in most cases. So this will help you feel a lot fresher, a lot cleaner, and conserve on your water usage, and maybe take a shower the next day. Alright, so that's it for this particular video. There's a lot more. There's no way this list encompasses everything you should do, but it's certainly some important things you want to think about if you plan on doing some boondocking and don't want to have to stop early because of one of these things you forgot. So hopefully you found this video helpful or useful. If nothing else, maybe at least a little bit entertaining, and this will help make your trip a little bit better when you go out next time. Now, before you head out camping, you want to make sure your unit is ready to go, and one way you can do that is do an inspection of your tow vehicle and or your travel trailer or your RV if you're driving one. And you can do that by using my pre-trip checklist. It's free. It's right down in the description. All you have to do is click on the link, head over there, pick that up. Also, there's a free ebook that talks about camping a little bit. So don't forget to check that out. It's if you want to type in your browser, it's pretripchecklist.gr8.com. Make sure you like this video, comment any questions you have. I'd be happy to try to answer them for you. And always don't forget to subscribe. And with that said, happy camping. Alright, if you're going camping and you want to do some boondocking, I'm going to give you some things that... Okay, if you plan on going camping or boondocking, if you plan on doing some boondocking, I'm going to give you a list of items or things that you must do or have to expend